A very warm welcome, everyone, to this episode of the FINMET Mondays podcast. Today we have, after a long hiatus, Sunil. Sunil, welcome back.
Thank
And
you.
Ronan, as always, Ronan, welcome back to you as well on the podcast. Sunil, I wanted to ask you about the precious metals conference that was held in Singapore. There was a lot of talk about where gold's price is going to be hitting this year, the max price, and there was obviously going to be a lot of discussion about what's happening in the markets. If you could give us a little bit of a insight into that.
I think there's three things that come out for me from the conference. One is the incredible attendance. They had 600 people, 650 people attending from around the world, but basically most of the countries in Asia were represented. So you have participation from countries like Laos, Indonesia, Vietnam. I think that reflects the sentiment in the market that there's a lot of positivity in the market. The second thing that came out is, there was a price projection. Everyone's supposed to give a price estimate of what they think the year will end at. And I think the average price came out at around 3,800, 3,750 to 3,800. So overall, the market remains quite bullish. And thirdly, I think the jewelry demand in Asia has declined. There's been a dramatic decline in jewelry demand. In tonnage, it has come down. In US dollar terms, it's remained the same. So you would say probably 25% decrease. However, there has been an increase in investment demand. So a lot of people are talking about bars, coins, a lot of investment, people buying gold for investment purposes. So that I think was an interesting theme for me is now even in Asia, instead of looking at jewelry as a way of buying gold, people have started looking at bars and coins.
Interesting. Thanks for that, Sunil. Ronan, coming back to the price outlook and just in general, we've completed 6 months of this year, and gold has hit gains of, I think, about 25 to 30%. What's in store for the second half of the year? What is your viewpoint about gold? Is it going to hit the same run rate as the first half of this year, or you think it's going to slow down because of the factors at play currently?
Gold in the first 6 months of this year, 2025, has increased by 27%, which in any other year would be phenomenal. Like, for example, the gold price only increased by 25% for the whole of 2024, and that was one of the best years in the previous 15 years. So I think that people have to put it into perspective and realize and accept that it's had an amazing run for the first 6 months, and it probably won't have the same accelerated increase during the coming 6 months. But still, I think that all the factors that drove it higher in the first 6 months are still in play. But some of them have come a little bit off the boil, like the geopolitical risk, and maybe that some of the tariff uncertainties are going to be resolved sooner rather than later. So I think that people have to put that into perspective, but also maybe just have an eye on the fact that there will be new all-time highs in the gold price over the next few months. And it could push it once it goes above 3,500, up to 3,600. I think it can get to 3,700, 3,800. But again, that would be one of the best years since the millennium, over 30% maybe.
Thanks, Sunil. Thanks, Ronan. Let's see how the markets play out this week. But till then, thank you so much and goodbye.